about 1 hour to introduce the rest topics on consumer behavior, and then we'll leave some time for the rest of students to do the presentation. And this is the last class for this course, and last topic is about consumer decision making, and now we'll have a short review using short video from Professor Solomon. And
did you decide to buy within the past day or two? In each case, essentially, you were solving a problem. That's because every consumer decision we make is a response to a problem. Of course, the type and scope of these problems varies enormously. Your needs range from simple physiological priorities, such as quenching your thirst, to whether you'll spend your hard-earned money on a television, to abstract intellectual or aesthetic quandaries, such as choosing a college major, or perhaps what to wear to that Beyoncé concert on Saturday night. Because some purchase decisions are more important than others, the amount of effort we put into each differs. Sometimes the decision-making process is almost automatic. We seem to make snap judgments based on very little information. At other times, it resembles a full-time job. A person may literally spend days or weeks agonizing over an important purchase, such as a new home, a car, or even an iPhone versus a Samsung Galaxy. Given the range of problems we all confront in our lives, clearly it's difficult to apply a one-size-fits-all explanation to the complexities of consumer behavior. Traditionally, consumer researchers approached decision-making from a rational perspective. According to this view, people calmly and carefully integrate as much information as possible with what they already know about a product. Painstakingly weigh the pluses and minuses of each alternative and arrive at a satisfactory decision. When we make rational decisions, we follow a sequence of steps that we describe as problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, product choice, and post-purchase evaluation. Each step represents challenges, but also opportunities for marketers. For example, today a huge amount of information search, that is step number 2, takes place online. So strategies like search engine optimization are crucial to be sure your brand stays in the running. These decision-making steps are well and good, but common sense tells us we don't undergo this elaborate sequence every time we buy something. If we did, we'd spend all day making these decisions. Instead, we often use shortcuts to get on with our lives. Social scientists are learning more every day about how very subtle cues in the environment influence these kinds of decisions. A study of the influence of company logos found that when respondents were exposed to a brief flash of either an Apple or an IBM logo on a screen, their behavior changed, even though they weren't even aware they had seen the logo. Creativity, nonconformity, and innovation are traits many consumers associate with the Apple brand, whereas they link tradition, intelligence, and responsibility with IBM. Sure enough, those who saw the Apple logo subsequently provided more creative and innovative responses on a task than those who saw the IBM logo. None of the respondents were aware of the logo's influence on their behaviors. It's crucial to understand what decision processes your customers use. If you sell products or services that require a lot of thought, be sure to track how your buyers make their way through the decision-making sequence. But if your products are things people buy habitually, focus more on the subtle cues in the buying situation to steer them your way.
Okay, today we'll go on to introduce topics on consumer behavior. And the first topic is about the process. Yeah.
Did I present already?
Who is talking? Who's speaking just now? The problem? Who's speaking? You want to say something, you can leave it as a message. Presentation will go later, okay? And first we'll introduce the main contents. Yes, you did. You did present it. Okay, and the first topic today is about the process of consumer behavior, and it's not only about buying, purchase. After buying the goods or services, there are still two steps: using and disposing. And many factors at the time of a purchase dramatically influence the consumer's decision-making process. And with the growth of sharing economy, more and more consumers think about rent products. And our decisions about how to dispose of a product are as important as how we decide to obtain it. So there are many problems, many issues related to purchase and post-purchase activities. The consumer's choices are affected by many personal factors. And the sale doesn't end at the time of a purchase. As you can see, before purchase, there are many antecedent states, and there are many factors will influence the purchase decision, such as situational factors, usage, context, time pressure, mood, and shopping orientation. And when it comes to the purchase decision, and there are points of purchase stimuli, or the shopping experience, and the sales interactions will influence the decision that you just made. And after purchase, marketers will pay more attention to consumer satisfaction, and some of the companies will do the business about product disposal. For example, second-hand products, second-hand clothes, cars, furnitures, and houses. Situational effects can be behavioral or perceptual. We tailor purchases to specific occasions. The way we feel at a particular time affects what we buy or do. And consumers may care the situational self-image. Who am I right now? So there are situational effects on consumer behavior being explored. Social and physical surroundings affect a consumer's motives for product usage and product evaluation. And co-consumers will be seen as product attribute. If you, for example, you are very hungry and you are looking for a restaurant, and if you walk around one of the restaurant that full of people. I think most of us will go into this restaurant to have a try, because large numbers of people means arousal. And people and consumers will believe that since there are so many people like the food in this restaurant, the food provided by this restaurant may be very delicious or very special. So they'll have a great deal of interest to have a try. Temporal factors. For example, this advertisement show that the slogan "Too busy to eat, help is at hand," and provide the product that is Campbell's soup at hand. A whole new way to eat right when you are on the wrong economic time and you have a time pressure. Psychological time is consumers' perception of time. This may be subjective experience, and time could be a pressure cooker, could be a map, could be a mirror, a river, and a fist. And there are differences across culture. There is the Queen theory. They use mathematical study of waiting lines, and consumer may believe that waiting for product means good quality. So this is one of the effect of a temporal factor. But too much waiting will generate negative feelings. So marketers will think about the ways to solve the waiting problem, to manage the waiting lines. So they use tricks to minimize psychological waiting time. For example, you go to the restaurant and there are too many people are there in the restaurant, and out of the restaurant there are still a lot of people waiting there, and the managers or the waiters will provide some snacks or games or some other activities to minimize the perceptions about the waiting time. So this is a trick, but it's very useful. The shopping environment. Mood or psychological condition influences what we buy and how we evaluate product. The mood, for example, happy or sad. Happiness refers to high in pleasantness and moderate in arousal. Mood biases judgments of products or services. Imagine that you are very angry after fighting with your parents or your friends, and when you go out for shopping, maybe you will have some revenge shopping or something else. So mood can bias the judgment of a purchased product or services. And moods are affected by store design, music, TV programs, and so on. So if consumers have a good mood, they will have a happy shopping experience and may have more purchases. Reasons for shopping vary by product category, store time, and culture. And the hedonic reasons include social experiences, sharing of common interests, interpersonal attraction, instant status, and the thrill of hunt. So think about the e-commerce. When you're shopping online, and there are many other factors will determine the purchase decision. Competition for customers is becoming intense. Malls gain loyalty by appealing to social motives, while retailing today changes more because of the development of e-commerce and the forms of the layout of malls has changed a lot today. Store image can be seen as the personality of the store, determined by the location of the store, the merchandise suitability, the knowledge or congeniality of sales staff. And interior design types of patterns, return policies, credit availability will also influence the shopping in the store. In addition, atmospherics will influence the purchase decision making. For example, the colors, the scents, the sounds, or music affect the time spent in store and spending. When consumers are in store, they're still decision making about in-store decision. And spontaneous shopping consists of unplanned buying, impulse buying, and marketers will use point of purchase stimuli to motivate consumers in store to buy more. And a salesperson will create an exchange process. They will set up commercial friendships with the consumers and finish the sale later or for a long time. And now we move to the using, maybe the ownership. After purchase, consumers will own the product. And today, with the development of sharing economy, or we can say collaborative consumption, consumer behavior. And consumers will rent what they need rather than buying it. Today, we can see that the sharing economy is revolutionizing industries including taxis, hospitality, used books, errand running, and so on. And 1/3 of millennials already belong to a sharing service or expect to join one soon. And there are peer-to-peer commerce, especially on the social media platform. Or there are many specific platforms for peer-to-peer commerce. After purchase, post-purchase satisfaction or dissatisfaction is determined by attitude about a product after purchase and make a comparison with pre-purchase. Marketers constantly look out for sources of consumer dissatisfaction, and complaint will be opportunities for improving the business or the product or the services. So more and more companies encourage consumers to make complaint after their purchase. And marketers should manage expectations of consumers. Don't promise what you can't deliver. When product fails, marketers must reassure customers with honesty. If there are dissatisfaction, there are 3 ways consumers can act: voice response, private response, for example, express dissatisfaction to friends or boycott store. Third-party response, take legal action. If the product consumers do not want to use the product, they may confront with the disposal decision. But if consumers have a strong product attachment, the disposal will be painful. And there are many consumers nostalgia, and they do not want to dispose the used products. They don't use anymore, but they just keep it. So ease of product disposal is now a key product attribute to consumers. There are disposal options. Keep the item. Use it to serve original purpose, or convert it to serve a new purpose, or just store it. The second option is to get rid of permanently. Throw it away, give it away, trade it, or sell it. And sell it directly to consumer or through middleman, or just sell to middleman. The third disposal option is get rid of item temporarily. You can rent it, or you can make loans. And letter recycling is more popular today. Already purchased products are sold to others or exchanged for still other things. For example, flea markets, garage sales, classified ads, bartering for services, hand-me-downs, etc. And their underground economy includes resale of used products through flea markets, internet sites. So internet has revolutionized the lateral cycling process today. So this is the process of consumer behavior: pre-purchase, purchase, post-purchase, buying, having, and disposing. The second topic today is about the external influences on consumer behavior, and we'll take a quick overview for the external factors. And we'll focus on the social and cultural settings. Main points. First of all, others, especially those who possess some kind of a social power, often influence us. For example, today there are more and more KOL, key opinion leader on social media or the self-media, and influence the consumers. We are motivated to buy or use products in order to be consistent with what other people do. So there are social norms influence, maybe both personal and social conditions influence how we spend on our money. A person's desire to make a statement about his social class or the class to which he hopes to belong influences the products he likes or dislikes. And our memberships in ethnic, racial, and religious subcultures often play a big role in guiding our consumption behaviors. A culture is a society's personality. It shapes our identities as individuals. New products, services, and ideas spread through a population. Different types of people are more or less likely to adopt the new one, the innovation. So the first point is about reference groups. What is a reference group? It can be an actual or imaginary individual or group conceived of having significant relevance upon an individual's evaluations, aspirations, or behavior. And there are three ways to influence consumers: informational influence, utilitarian influence, and value expressive influence. Reference group influence is stronger for purchases that are luxuries rather than necessities. Socially conspicuous or visible to others. Types of reference groups: culture, figure, parents, large formal organization, small and informal groups. And sometimes the informal groups will have a great power on individual consumers, especially the normative influence to our day-to-day life. Even brand will have the communities, the group of consumers who share a set of social relationships based upon usage or interest in a product, especially on one brand. Conforms of the brand communities. And the brand fits enhance brand loyalty, and marketers usually initiate some activities on the brand communities to attract the consumers' attentions and to give some awards for their consumers. And the purpose is to enhance brand loyalty and to make the relationships between brand and the consumer more close. And there are tribal marketing linking our product to the need of a group as a whole. There are two types of reference groups based on membership and aspiration. The membership reference groups means people the consumer actually knows. They form a group. The individual is the member in this group. So for this kind of group, advertisers will use ordinary people in their advertisement. In terms of aspirational reference groups, they will use celebrity spokespeople because the people are the ones consumer doesn't know but admires. Another division or classification of reference groups as positive versus negative. Reference groups may exert either positive or negative influence on consumer behaviors. So there are usually some avoidance groups, motivation to distance oneself from other people or groups. And marketers show ads with undesirable people using competitors' product or using a product wrongly, in a wrong way. Most people tend to follow society's expectations regarding how to look or act. So this is the idea about conformity. Factors influencing conformity include cultural pressures, fear of defiance, commitment to group membership, group anonymity, susceptibility to interpersonal influence. Word of mouth is product information transmitted by individuals to individuals, and this will have a powerful influence on consumer behavior, and they are more reliable than the advertisement. And they will induce the social pressure to conform. Influences 2/3 of all sales. So we rely upon word of mouth in later stages of product adoption. powerful when we are unfamiliar with product categories. And today, with the development of e-commerce, and we have the online word of mouth or e-word of mouth. And opinion leaders influence others' attitudes and behaviors a lot. So marketers usually find the opinion leadership among the latent consumers, and then they will ask the opinion leader to help them to use their product or to spread their attitude or favor about their product or brand. And then this will influence the other people to have a good attitude about the brand or product. And there are good information sources because they may be experts. They may provide unbiased evaluation, or they're socially active or similar to the consumer, or just among the first to buy. So consumers seek advertise from OL because of the expertise, unbiased knowledge power, highly interconnected in communities, referent power, or hands-on product experience. And it is rare to find a generalized opinion leader. Market movement is actively involved in transmitting marketplace information of all types. They just into shopping and aware what's happening in the marketplace. They have overall knowledge of how and where to get products. So they are super shoppers, and they will shop for others, and they will make some exchanges. The surrogate consumer refers to a marketing intermediary hired to product input and to purchase decision. For example, the interior decorators, stockbrokers, professional shoppers, college consultants. So marketers should not overlook influence of a surrogate consumer. The second point is about a social class. Social class. What is social class? It's a term from sociology. Society is divided into the haves versus have-nots. Social class is determined by income, family background, and occupation. And there are universal pecking order, shows the relative standing in society. Standing determines access to resources like education, housing, consumer goods. So marketing strategies will focus on their desire to move up in standing. Social class affects access to resources. We even tend to marry people in similar social class, but some of our consumers or some of individuals want to marry people in higher social class to realize the enter into the top or the higher tier of a society. And these social class are just the objective social class. There is still a subjective social class. Structure around the word, the class structure around the word differ a lot. In China, the rise of a middle class is very popular today. And in Japan, there is status and brand conscious society. Arab cultures, women enjoy shopping with their families or friends. In UK, rigid class structure still exists, but the dominance of its aristocracy is fading. And today in China, all around the world, the Generation Z will play a dominant role in purchasing. And it will be a focus for marketers to figure out their consumer characteristics and psychology. So marketers can targeting different social class to satisfy their needs. And for example, you can targeting the poor. Poor people have the same basic needs as others. Residents of poor neighborhoods must travel more to have some access to supermarkets, banks. While the rich or affluent consumers will have a different focus. Their interests or spending priorities are affected by where they got their money, how they got it, and how long they have had it. And there are 3 different consumer attitudes toward luxury. Luxury is functional. Luxury is our reward. Luxury is indulgence. So think about the sections of self-image. And status can be a symbol in the society. You are what you have, what you buy. And for consumers, will seek status in society to show their social identities. And status seeking is a motivation to obtain products that will let others know that you have made it. So there are many status symbol products, but the status symbol products vary across cultures and locales. For example, in Brazil, owning a private helicopter to get around horrible traffic. In China, showing off pampered only child. In Russia, cell phones with gyms, expensive tires. Indonesia, richer cell phone, the size of a brick. And conspicuous consumption is usually popular for those who are in the middle class or the lower class. People's desire to provide prominent, visible evidence of their ability to afford luxury goods. The third point is subcultures. Consumers' lifestyle are affected by group membership within the society at large. The subcultures of age, race, place of residence. Microcultures share a strong identification with an activity or art form, have own unique set of norms, vocabulary, and practice insignias. Ethnic and racial subcultures for marketers, they will pay more attention to different subculture, especially the ethnic or racial subculture, because they cannot ignore the diversity of cultures in society today. Ethnic minorities spend more than $600 billion a year on products. The minorities find an advertised spokesperson from their own group more trustworthy. Ethnic subculture affects level of media exposure, food or apparel preferences, political behavior, leisure activities, willingness to try new products. And there are high or low context culture today, but there are different for marketers to develop strategies, corresponding strategies. And the country of origin, for example, will have a great influence on consumers' consumption behavior, especially for products from different country origins. Religious subculture. Religious themes can spill over into everyday consumption, especially the cult products. So there are marketing opportunity among the religious subcultures. Religion is seen as a taboo subject to marketers. Dietary and dress requirements create a demand for certain products. Church leaders can encourage or discourage consumption. The effect of a culture is a focus for marketers or for consumer behavior scholars, as they have a power distance. Uncertainty avoidance, masculine versus feminine, the degree to which sex roles are clearly delineated, and individualism versus collectivism show the extent to which culture values the welfare of the individual versus that of the group. And this will usually used in cross-cultural research, especially for Western versus Eastern countries. Norms are rules dictating what is right and wrong. And there are different types of norms. There are enacted norms. Coercive norms embedded in a culture and include customs, morals, and conventions. And all these three coercive norms combine to define a culturally appropriate behavior. There are myths and rituals. Magical products and interest in occult tend to be popular when members of a society feel overwhelmed and powerless. For example, luckysurf.com fuel lottery site, and Marketers can create own myths. For example, McDonald's, golden arches. Startup myths for Nike, Apple Computer, and so on. Myths serve four interrelated functions in a culture: metaphysical, cosmological, sociological, psychological. Rituals refers to the sets of multiple symbolic behaviors that occur in a fixed sequence and that intend to be repeated periodically. And many consumer activities are ritualistic. For example, trips to Starbucks, pulling the perfect pint of genius. And there are college campus rituals. Tailgating at football games, for example. Businesses supply ritual artifacts to consumers. For example, wedding rice, birthday candles, diplomas, online gift registries, and so on. And consumers often employ a ritual script. For example, graduation programs, etiquette books. Gift-giving ritual. Consumers procure the perfect object, meticulously remove price tag, carefully wrap it, then deliver it to recipient. Gift-giving is a form of economic exchange or symbolic exchange or just a social expression. Every culture prescribes certain occasions and ceremonies for giving gifts. And there's still self-gifts. It's a socially accepted way to reward oneself. But there are different mechanisms for gift given for others or given to oneself. And there are holiday rituals. Marketers find ways to encourage the gift given on holidays. For example, Christmas, Santa, Halloween. While there are rites of passage. Sacred and profane consumption. Okay. The last point is about the diffusion of innovations. Innovation refers to any product that consumers perceive to be new. Maybe new manufacturing technique, a product variation, new way to deliver product, new way to package product, and so on. The diffusion of innovation is a hot topic because today we are seeing numerous new products coming into our market, coming into our daily life. Only successful innovations last in the market. But successful innovations spread through the population at various rates. And this is the normal curve for the diffusion of innovation, and divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of adopters. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards during throughout the product life cycle. And we can see the percentage adopting will go up to the top and then go down. So for marketers, they will make the introduction stage short and make the growth and maturity process lasting more, and find a way, for example, develop new products or alternative products, and to make the growth go last for a long time, and make the market decrease slow down. And adopting innovations depends on some prerequisites, factors for successful adoption: compatibility, trialability, complexity, observability, relative advantage. But for the fashion system, the diffusion rate is more fast than ordinary products. The fashion system affects all types of cultural phenomenon, for example, music, art, architecture, or science. It is a context-dependent system. So innovations know no geographic boundaries. But it is a costly consequences of ignoring cultural sensitivities for the diffusion of innovation. In practice, a homogeneous world culture has met with mixed results. Consumers in different countries do not use products the same way. Significant cultural difference can show up within the same country. sometimes global marketing does work. Coca-Cola has been successful in crafting a single international image. Multicultural marketing efforts tend to succeed more with two types of consumer segments: affluent global citizens or young people. Three dimensions of global brands: quality signal, global mix, social responsibility. Okay, so much for the external influences of consumer behavior. And due to the limit of the time, so we just give an overview of the main points. And every point will be a research topic, deserves more research. Check. And at the last, I'll play this video. And the word of mouth and opinion leadership will be a good topic for you guys to do the research. And we'll have some time to learn more.
Did you know Altoids breath mints have been around for 200 years? The brand caught fire among a larger market only near the end of the 20th century. How did this happen? The revival began when the mint attracted a devoted following among smokers and coffee drinkers who hung out in the blossoming Seattle club scene during the 1980s. When Kraft bought the company, it started to promote the candy with subway posters sporting retro imagery and other low-tech media to avoid making the product seem mainstream. That would turn off the original audience. Young people started to tune into this retro treat, and its popularity skyrocketed. As the Altoids success story illustrates, today grassroots efforts that motivate consumers to spread a brand's message are what make a hit product. Word of mouth, or WOM, is product information that individuals transmit to other individuals. Because we get the word from people we know, WOM tends to be more reliable and trustworthy than messages from more formal marketing channels. Despite the huge sums of money marketers pump into lavish ads, WOM is far more powerful. It influences up to 50% of all consumer goods sales. If you think carefully about the content of your own conversations in the course of a normal day, you will probably agree that much of what you discuss with friends, family members, or co-workers is product related. When you compliment someone on her dress and ask her where she bought it, recommend a new restaurant to a friend, or complain to your neighbor about the shoddy treatment you got at the bank, you engage in WOM. WOM is especially powerful when the consumer is relatively unfamiliar with the product category. We often encounter these situations in the case of new products, For example, medications to prevent hair loss, or those that are technologically complex, such as smartphones. One way to reduce uncertainty about the wisdom of a purchase is to talk about it. Talking gives the consumer an opportunity to generate supporting arguments for the purchase and to garner support for this decision from others. You can stimulate word of mouth by actively managing your social media presence. Encourage influential bloggers to post about your product and recruit consumers as brand ambassadors who will help you to spread the word without having to buy traditional advertising. Identify and encourage your faithful users to recruit others into the fold. Small incentives such as free products and personal communications can pay huge dividends in terms of expanding your customer base. Here's the downside. We know that WOM is a powerful weapon. Unfortunately, it's a two-edged sword that cuts both ways for marketers. Informal discussions among consumers can make or break a product or store. And we're more likely to pay attention to negative information than to positive information, and to tell others about our nasty experience. Again, be vigilant and proactive with social media. Create monitors who follow Twitter feeds and other platforms where negative comments may surface, and deal with these immediately. When consumers' complaints are addressed properly, they're actually more loyal to the company than those who don't complain at all. So be sure to get people talking and stay on top of what they're saying.
Okay, now let's have a short break for 5 minutes, and later we'll have the rest of students to do their presentation. Have the students to do their presentation, and we still have 3 students do not do the presentation. Yu Xuan, Liu Xingchen, and Li Shuai.
May I share my screen?
Yeah, it's okay. Welcome. And you can share your screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Shui. So the theme of my presentation is factors influencing consumer decisions. So what's the benefits of knowing about consumer decision process? The consumer decision process helps us to understand the steps people go through when they are deciding whether and what to buy. Many different factors can influence the outcomes of purchasing decisions. Some of these factors are specific to buying situations. What exactly you are buying and for what occasion. Other factors are specific to each person and individual's background, preferences, personality, motivations, and economic status, because no two people are exactly alike. It is difficult to predict how the tangled web of influencing factors will ultimately shape a final purchasing decision. So what exactly influences a purchasing decision? While the decision-making process itself appears quite standardized, no two people make a decision in exactly the same way. People have many beliefs and behavioral tendencies, some controllable and some beyond our control. How all these factors interact with each other ensures that each of us is unique in our consumer actions and choices. Also, it isn't feasible for marketers to react to the complex of individual profiles of every single consumer, it is possible to identify factors that tend to influence most consumers in predictable ways. There are 4 factors that influence customer decision is situational factors, personal factors, psychological factors, and social factors. In this presentation, we will consider only 3 of them. The situational, personal, and psychological factors.
Li Shui, you can scroll down for the slides. You can go down to the next 2
Which one?
slides. I think you are just talking about the 4 factors influencing consumer decision making, and it
Yes,
should be the 5th or the 4th slides. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So what should I do? Sorry, teacher.
Because you are talking about the influencing factors, social, personal,
Yes. You want to that I should skip this description of these factors.
It's okay, but I think it's too much stuff here. And this is not from the research paper, right? It seems
Yes.
from a textbook.
In our WeChat group, it was said that it is not necessary to make a research paper, so that I made this one.
It's okay, but you can present in brief, okay?
Okay.
In short.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too. So situational factors are divided in buying task, market offerings. For example, if you are already have purchased or are considering purchasing a smartphone, you know that there are multiple brands to choose from: the Samsung Galaxy, Apple iPhone, Sony, LG, HTC One, and Nokia, to name several. Each manufacturer sells several models that differ in various features, design, screen size, memory, speed, camera quality, and so on. What criteria are important to you? Is purchasing a smartphone an easy decision? If a consumer has a need that can be met by only one product or one outlet in the relevant market, the decision is relatively simple, either buy the product or let need to unmeet. Next one is personal factors. In addition to situational factors, there are also individual traits and characteristics that can shape purchasing decisions. This includes things like demographics, life stage, lifestyle, and personality. There include demographics, life stage, lifestyle, personality. And personality traits may also include characteristics linked to the ways people view themselves and calibrate their behavior in the world. For example, sincerity, self-confidence, empathy, self-reliance, adaptability, and aggression. And the last one, which we will consider, and last factor which we'll consider today, is the psychological factors. Consumer decisions and the workings of the fees. When we talk about psychological factors that influence consumer decision, we are referring to the workings of the mind of speech, motivation, learning, and socialization, attitudes, and beliefs. A motive is the inner drive or pressure to take actions to satisfy a need. A highly motivated person is very goal-oriented individual. Psychological needs are at first level of Maslow hierarchy, hunger, thirst, and other basic drives. All living beings, regardless of their level of maturity, possess psychological needs. Psychological needs are omnipresent and recur throughout nature. Learning and socialization. Learning is an experience and practice that actually brings about changes in behavior. For example, in order to learn to play tennis, you might learn about the rules of game and the skills tennis players need. You will practice the skills and participate in tennis games to gain experience. Learning can also take place without actually participating in physical experience. You can learn about something conceptually too. In other words, you could learn to play tennis by observing experts and reading about it without actually doing it. This is called non-experiential learning. Attitude and beliefs. Attitude and belief represents another psychological factor that influences consumer behavior. A belief is the conviction of a person holds about something, such as dark chocolate is bitter, or dark chocolate is delicious, or dark chocolate is good for baking. An attitude is a consistent view of something that encompasses the beliefs as well as an emotional feeling and a related behavior. For example, an attitude toward dark chocolate may be expressed as a belief, like dark chocolate is delicious, or feeling dark chocolate makes me happy. And behavior, I eat dark chocolate every afternoon as pick me up. People have beliefs and attitudes about all sorts of things: food, family, politics, place, holidays, religions, brands, and so on. Beliefs and attitudes may be positive, negative, or neutral, and they may be based on opinion or fact. It is important for marketers to understand how beliefs and attitudes affect consumer behavior and decision making. If an incorrect or determined belief exists among the general population or target audience, marketing efforts may be needed to change people's minds. For example, in 1993, rumors erupted and spread widely about the siren allegedly being found inside a can of Diet Pepsi. The entire incident turned out to be a hoax, but PepsiCo responded not only with strong, immediate public statements, but also with videos and public relations campaigns to quell the rumors and reassure consumers that Pepsi products are safe. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Li Shui. Actually, this could be used as a summary for the consumer behavior course.
Yes,
right?
yes. I want to make a complete version of what we learned.
Well done. And I remember that I introduced the overall framework of factors influencing consumer behavior. And now it's the last class, and you did a job on these factors influencing consumer decisions. Well done. Thank you.
And also, I consider only internal influences.
Yeah.
I skip the last one. It's social factors.
Yes, exactly. Okay, now you can. Yeah. Let's welcome the next student. Liu Xingchen, are you okay?
Yes, it's true.
Okay, please.
Can you guys see my PPT?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Today I will be discussing how a lifestyle. Sorry. Today I will be discussing how lifestyle as an internal factor plays a significant role in influencing consumer buying behavior. So as marketers, it's crucial to understand and get the idea what drives consumers' choices and preferences. So lifestyle, which encompasses an individual behavior, behaviors, interests, opinions, and values, is a significant internal influencing factor that shapes consumer behavior. So basically in this presentation, I will dive into the concept of lifestyle and its role in consumer behavior, as well as its implications for marketers. So without further ado, let's dive in. The first thing, let's define what is a lifestyle. Basically, a lifestyle refers to an individual way of living which is influenced by various factors such as demographics, culture, and social class, as well as personal values. So lifestyle shapes consumer behavior by influencing attitudes, perception, and motivation. For example, let's take a health-conscious consumer. Okay, a health-conscious consumer may prefer organic food and fitness-related products, while an eco-conscious consumer might prioritize environmentally friendly products. So this is just an example and more to cover in the upcoming slides. So as I was saying, understanding consumers' lifestyle is vital in creating effective marketing strategies that resonate with preferences and behaviors. So lifestyle can vary greatly among individuals and can be categorized into different types based on various factors. So let's take a look at some common types of lifestyle. So the first one is health conscious. The second one is eco-friendly. The third one is tech savvy. The fourth one is thrifty, and the fifth one is luxury. Okay. Now let's take a closer look at each of these lifestyle types, starting with the health-conscious lifestyle. So basically, health-conscious lifestyle, these are individuals who prioritize their health and well-being. They may prefer products or services related to fitness, nutrition, and self-care. This type of consumers prioritize health and wellness, may choose organic, gluten-free, or low-fat products, and may also engage in activities such as exercise, yoga, or meditation, for example. So marketers can target these segments with health-focused products and services. The second one is eco-friendly lifestyle. These are individuals who are environmentally conscious and prefer products or services that are eco-friendly, sustainable, and socially responsible. They may also participate in activities such as recycling, reducing waste, or, for example, supporting conservation efforts. Marketers can appeal to this segment with environmentally friendly products and sustainable marketing campaigns. The third one is tech-savvy lifestyle. So these are individuals who are early adopters of technology, and they usually interested in gadgets, electronics, and digital products. Okay. The fourth one is a luxury lifestyle. These are individuals who enjoy luxury and high-end products and are willing to pay a premium for luxury brands and experiences. And this type of consumers may engage in activities such as fine dining, luxury travel, or high fashion. So marketers can target this segment with luxury products, exclusive experience, and personalized services. The fifth one, the question here before moving to the fifth one. Does a thrifty remind you of someone in your family? Anyone a thrifty? I mean, thrifty here literally means, basically when we are talking about thrifty, we are talking about economizing, saving. I mean, getting the most out of the last single piece. Anyone thrifty reminds you of someone in your family? I guess no. So for me, when I think of thrifty, I think of my great aunt or grandma. It is something I saw whenever I visited like my aunt or my grandma. It wasn't something that they specifically thought. It was just how they went around life. They made sure every single last piece of everything was used to the fullest extent, being savvy with your money and time. So basically, thrifty lifestyle, these are individuals who are budget conscious and seek value for the money. They often look for deals, discounts, or bargains. Okay. Now, with all that being said, let's take a closer look at how lifestyle influences consumer buying behavior. Okay. Starting with the product preferences. So product preferences, consumers with different lifestyles may have different preferences for a product or services. For example, let's take health-conscious individuals again. Health-conscious individuals may prefer organic or natural products, or they might prioritize their physical well-beings and choose organic food and fitness-related products. They may be concerned about the quality and nutritional value of the food they consume and the impact of their lifestyle choices on their overall health. Therefore, a marketing strategy targeted towards health-conscious consumers may focus on promoting the health benefits of the product, such as using keywords like organic, natural, nutrition, and sustainable in marketing messages and emphasizing how the product can contribute to their well-being. While luxury lifestyle individuals may prefer premium or high-end products, these consumers prioritize premium and high-quality products or services and are willing to pay a premium price for exclusivity, luxury, and status. They may be interested in luxury fashion, high-end accessories, or upscale experiences. The following, it's brand choices, okay? Consumers with specific lifestyle may have different brand preferences based on their values, beliefs, and interests. For instance, eco-friendly lifestyle individual may prefer brands that are known for their sustainability practices. Now, purchase frequency, okay? Lifestyle can also influence the frequency of consumer purchases. For example, tech-savvy individuals may purchase technology-related products more frequently compared to other lifestyle types. So here is a more detailed example of how tech-savvy individuals' lifestyle can influence their purchase frequency. Basically, tech-savvy individuals who are early adopters of new gadgets and technologies tend to make purchases more frequently compared to other lifestyle types. They are passionate about the latest innovations and are constantly seeking out new gadgets and devices to enhance their digital experiences. For example, let's take the smartphone upgrades. Tech-savvy individuals may upgrade their smartphones more frequently compared to other consumers. They are eager to get their hands on the latest smartphone models with advanced features, improved performance, and cutting-edge technology. They may follow tech blogs, reviews, and forums to stay updated on the latest smartphone release and make frequent purchases to stay ahead in the tech game. The following one is the purchase decision process. So for the purchase decision process, lifestyle can also affect the decision-making process of consumers. For instance, let's take the thrifty lifestyle individuals that we just spoke about. So thrifty lifestyle individuals may conduct extensive research, compare prices, for example, and read reviews before making a purchase, while luxury lifestyle individuals may prioritize the brand image and prestige associated with the product. Now moving to the implications for marketers, okay? So understanding the influence of lifestyle on consumer buying behavior has important implications for marketers. And here are some takeaways, starting with the segmentations. Marketers can segment their market based on lifestyle to tailor their marketing efforts and messages to resonate with consumers' values and interests. This can lead to more effective and personalized marketing campaigns. Second one, it's the product development. Marketers can develop products or services that align with specific lifestyles to meet consumers' needs and preferences. This can involve creating, for example, product lines, packaging, or features like the appeal to different lifestyle segments. The third one is the branding, okay? The branding, marketers can create brand personalities and images that resonate with consumers' lifestyles to establish emotional connections and brand loyalty. This can involve crafting brand messages, visual elements, and experiences that align with consumers' lifestyle choices. And the last one is communication. So communication is basically marketers can use marketing communication channels and messages that are relevant to consumers' lifestyles to capture their attention and drive a purchase decision. So the last one. Yeah, conclusion. So in conclusion, lifestyle is an internal factor that significantly influences consumer buying behavior. So as marketers who understand and consider consumers' life can tailor their marketing efforts to effectively communicate with their target audience and meet their needs, build strong brand relationship, by incorporating lifestyle considerations into marketing strategies. Marketers can drive consumer engagement, increase brand loyalty, and ultimately achieve business success. That's it for my presentations. Thank you for your attention.
Excellent. You did a really good job. And the topic is the lifestyle on consumer behavior. You just showed a detailed and in-depth understanding about this topic, about the influence of a lifestyle, and you show almost an overall picture on the influence and the marketer implications. So totally, you did a very good job. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
The last one, Yuxuan.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I'm looking at consuming contests, the effect of outcome uncertainty on spectator attendance in the Australian Football League, published on the 10th of April 2023 by Patrick J. Ferguson and then Karim Rakimi. So this is the table of contents, the step by step from the abstract to the study recommendations. So in the abstract, the study talks about the opening of the Australian Football League after the COVID-19 pandemic. So the researchers realized that many people came in to watch the game, and the number had to go up. But they realized that even though the stadiums were given an upgrade, there was good communication, marketing, but something more was pushing the customers to come into the stage. So I classified this very research under attitude and then brand communications. So despite all the changes that were made, the communications that were made to attract the spectators, the research had to show that there was something more that the contestants, which that is the viewers or the spectators who are here, the consumers, they were looking out to, and that is that they came in more for the game because they were looking out for games whose outcome were uncertain. That is matches that were, you could not tell the outcome. So when both teams are strong sides, that is what causes them to come to the stage or to patronize the game the more. So that is what the introduction talks about. Now, in the introduction, the writers consider the fact that most of the literature that has been made available usually talk about the preference of customers for good communication and marketing, but they fail to look at the game, the Australian League, and how the viewers or the spectators are interested in games that tickle their fancy. That is, games that they cannot actually tell the outcome. So most of the literature is limited when it comes to providing information on spectators' interest in evenly balanced, matches. Can we move on, please? So that is the content of the introduction. And then it talks about the methods also that were used in getting the research. So as we go on, I'll expose all of those and explain them one after the other. So it also includes the contributions that the study makes and then study recommendations. So all of these breakdowns are made in there and then to be explained one after the other. So I move to the next page, please. Now, this is the setting and then the data description. And this setting and data description just talks about why the Australian League was picked. Now, the researchers picked the Australian League because it has the very high number of spectatorship within the games that are played in Europe. And it can be compared to the English Premier League and the other big leagues that are played in the world. It has a very high spectatorship or a very high viewing. And now the description, the setting or the data itself mainly uses a descriptive analysis to arrive at the conclusion of the research. All right. Now, these are the measures that were used. They used a very high level data to look at the regular season, that is the season that was played on a normal day and on a normal season. to do the research. So they counted on the normal season and then the normal events to do the research. And this is the formula that was used. The next slide, please. Now, these are measures that were taken, and the measures are that they look at probability that is of a game turning out to be successful or not. So what they did is that in order to look at how correct the research will be, they placed the games and then made some teams have injured players so that their best players will be put on the bench in order to match the strength of the other teams, so that while they go to play, all of them will be at par in terms of strength and in terms of player, substitution, so that both teams can have the same strength, the same quality, and then the same level of play. So that is the empirical evidence that was used, and this is the formula that was used. And it was able to prove that when this very strategy was used, it increased the attendance. More people wanted to come and then watch the game. The betting odds were up because they didn't know the outcome and everybody was eager to come in. So the study tried to prove that it necessarily wasn't the communications and then the marketing and all the promotions that were done about the game, but the spectators were moved to come because they had an expectation that was unknown or something that they were expecting to come out of the game. The next slide, please. Now, these are the estimations. So these are the points again. Outcome uncertainty, that is the formula. And then the injuries that were given to the players in order to make the research very robust and solid. The next slide. That is the second one too. That's the second stage. And then the outcome as well and the results. Now, these are the research methods that were used and then the results that were achieved. As I said earlier on, they use descriptive statistics. Under that, we have univariate analysis, instrumental variables, instrumental variable analysis, and then instrumental variable analysis in terms of stages. So by instrumental, they mean that they used certain factors or certain odds to pin all the teams down in order to have a very genuine research. That is so that it doesn't happen that the games were just allowed to be played, but they fixed it intentionally in order to look at what will happen, or in order to look at the results of the fixing and the results of the plan. Now from there we look at the robustness of the research. In order for them to have a very solid research, they made it very robust. So they control the outcome, they falsify some of the results, and then they made preferences of certain players. So they moved certain players to particular teams and then change other players to join other teams so that they both can be at par. So that was the system or the deals that were used to arrive at this conclusion. So this very data appendix tells you or gives you details of the descriptions of all the steps that were used in order to achieve the results. Now, this figure talks about distribution of performance ratings. One, as I said earlier on, we look at all versus injured players. So this is one of the methods that were used. They look at all the players that were fit, and then they look at all the players too that were injured. And then they look at the ratings of the betting and then the outcome of the result, attendance. So this is one of the way by which they were able to influence the game. The next one, please. The next one to look at future injuries to non-favorites. So the results of this one is that they put certain players in a particular position that they were injured. And then they realized that these very injuries were not related to the outcome at all, because it gave both teams the same strength, the same level of play, and the same level of quality based on the results that were achieved. The next slide, please. Now, it's an explanation of the data. So I move on. Now, in this figure too, we look at another method, which is injuries to non-favorite teams. Now, teams that were not considered as underdogs were also given some injuries or some weaknesses in terms of low quality players. And then they realized that that one too did not so much affect the attendance of the game. And then the next one, this one also looks at the descriptive analysis, and then it describes and analyzes the results steps by step according to the research and then the results that were achieved. Then there was differences in means, that is high and low outcome in certain games. So these things were used to achieve the games that were attended high and then the games that were attended on a low record. And these were the results. Now, probability was also used so that the favorite team will win. To determine whether the favorite team will win or the injured team will win. And this also was the results that came in that very lineup. The next one deals with estimates. Was another method that was used. They estimated the effect of outcome uncertainty on spectator demand for the contest. After doing all these controls or influencing the matches in this way, they looked at how the demand went, and they realized that the more they made the outcome of the game unknown, the more the attendance, shot up or increased for the games. Now, they didn't just want to let the research be done in a very unchecked manner. They wanted it to be very solid and then very, of a good quality. So they made sure that they use robustness in looking at the, the results. So they controlled the contestant quality and the team rivalries. By team rivalries, I mean, the competition that were between the teams that were supposed to play. So they made sure that they controlled it to see the outcome. And they realized that when it was controlled such that the spectators were not able to tell who was going to win or who was going to lose, again, the results showed that the attendance of the games shot up. So these are some of the things, the instruments that were used. They also used acute injury, as I explained earlier on. The injuries that they used were acute. That is very intentional. They made sure that they fixed this player on that side and then that on the other side to see the outcome. So again, they also looked at controlling star players. And by star players, sometimes spectators come to the field particularly to watch particular players. They didn't want that one to be an external influence to the research. So what happened was that they controlled the number of star players that were supposed to come and made sure that every team had normal players that were not known, whose play was not predictable, so that they'll be able to see how the attendance of the games would be. Again, we look at the issue of suspensions as well. They induced player suspensions such that certain quality players were affected and certain quality teammates were affected, to also see how the game or the outcome would be. The next one, please. So in conclusion, the paper used a unique data to set from the Australian Football League to estimate the effect of outcome uncertainty on spectator demand for contest. So it contributes to looking at how unknown outcome or unpredictability in a game can make consumers or spectators swoop into a game. So looking at the fact that not only communications, not only marketing, not only all the beautiful things that attract the customer, like the good pitch and then the good stadium, not that alone, but particular things also play a part in increasing attendance or in increasing spectator or consumer interest in the Australian football game. The next one, please. Now, finally, it looks at study recommendations, and it recommends that the literature that are available should be able to not only look at the issues of promotions, attracting customers, and then the marketing skills and all of that, but then they must also look at the things that trigger in the future. The literature that exists should be able to look at the things that trigger consumer attitude towards spectatorship or towards the interest in the Australian Football League. So that is the outcome of the research. And that's where I end. Thank you.
Actually, you presented very detailed about this research. And I have one question. Are you interested in this topic, consuming contests or the research methods?
I think that the research is quite recent, and then it relates more to consumer attitude and then communications as well.
Which journal did it publish? Which journal?
Yeah, it was published recently in April 13. Sorry, 10.
Actually, this is a good illustration for economics research, maybe economics, consumer economics. That's all. Okay, thank you. And at last, I want to emphasize our submission of a final project. And actually, the final project is based on the midterm proposal, but we didn't have time to ask you guys to submit the proposal. So now I will allow 2 or 4 weeks to finish the individual project, including the proposal and the research paper or a detailed research plan. And after 4 weeks, please submit your work through email to me, okay? And if you want more time, please let me know by that time. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 12 week, 13, 14, 16. By the end of the 16th week, okay, that will be the June 10th, okay? And I sent the requirements to Novation Group. Please check it.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Laushe, I didn't understand. What does mean midterm proposal? Can you explain, please? Because I didn't get it.
Yes, I assigned the assignment at the first class, and I required you guys to do the weekly response and finish individual project. The individual project included two parts. The first part is the proposal. It planned to finish at the middle of this course. So that is midterm proposal. The proposal is just like your thesis opening proposal, and you can find a topic in the area of consumer behavior. It's better one of the internal or external factors of a consumer behavior, and you can find one interesting phenomenon in the market, or just about your own consumer behavior, and find initiate one research question. Describe the background and clearly state out the question you want to answer, you want to explore, and state out how you might think about testing the question, and using what kind of methods. And then just give some implications you think it might have, and list out some important references. That's all about a proposal. So just initiate a research question, and then think about how will you solve the question or answer the question. So just the research design.
Laushe, I have a second question about research paper. How many pages or how many words it should be? Words or pages, like how many, like middle requirements for example 2,000 words or 10 pages.
I think it's okay because I want you guys to give a detailed research plan, or it's better to finish a research paper. So it's about 3 to 5 pages or 5,000 words.
5,000?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I recommend you guys to find a small question. So just find a small point to do the exploration.
老
Okay.
师
Do not be too broad. Just narrow down to a just like just now the Liu Yuxuan presented the lifestyle. So you can just select for example, the health conscious consumer and find what factors will influence their purchase behavior. Healthy food or healthy activity or something else. So just focus on a very small but interesting topic, and then doing literature review on this small topic, and you can find more academic papers, academic research, to learn from them, and then design your own research plan. And you can, if you have more time, you can do a pilot study, or just pilot, or just a pre-test. It's okay.
Okay, understand.
Just practice to design research, and then write up your thinkings, and then just finish it in a form of a proposal, research proposal. And based on the proposal, conduct a pilot study or a pre-test, and finish a complete research paper. So this is the ideal work. But if you want to have more time to do this work, you can let me know, okay? I hope that you guys can spend more time on this small research. It will be very interesting, and will be very helpful for conducting your thesis writing, thesis research.
So, Laoshi,
Yes.
please, does it mean we have two things to present to you now, or the ones that we've done now is the first one?
Yes.
The
What
individual
parts?
ones presented.
Just submit them. Do not present. Do not need to present them.
No, I mean the individual presentations we've done.
Individual presentation.
This one, the one we just finished.
Yeah, you can submit it to me.
Okay, so that one is the
That's
different
why
from
it's another one. It's the presentation, but not about your own independent project. It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's not yours.
Yeah.
Research.
Okay.
hopefully I want you guys to do a small research by yourself.
Laushi, I want to ask, should we submit middle term and also final projects at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, the proposal should be short, should be a simple one, and the final project will be more complete and more detailed. Just like your thesis opening report and your final thesis. But it's just a short edition about it, just a short edition. Proposal is just an opening report, right? Just a proposal. You initiate a research question and state out the reasons for why it deserves to research and what the meanings of conducting this research and how to do the research. And the final project will be a complete edition of our research. So it will be including the research background, literature review, hypotheses, and it's better to have a conceptual framework and the methodology, empirical study to test the hypothesis, and then the data analysis, results, conclusions, and the references.
Teacher, I have a question for the methodology and data analysis part. Should we conduct the methodology or we should extract it from the other research papers?
If you just want to finish a research plan, you can just state out the methodology. You can learn from the previous study.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to conduct the research, you can state out the specific, the detailed method.
Okay, thank you.
Detailed information about the research design, the measurement items, the data analysis methods, and so on. Actually, if you want to do a small research, 1 week is, I think 1 week is enough. 2 weeks is better. 1 week for literature review and design the research, design the questionnaire or the experiment, and 1 day to collect data and 1 day to analyze the data, and several days to finish the research paper. So more specific or valuable. Okay. Any other questions? You can leave it to my WeChat in our WeChat group, or you can email to me. Since the time is too late, so much for today. Okay.